Welcome to Auntie K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello folks, and welcome to Auntie K's Tarot. I have two decks here today, and you're probably surprised to see them on my desk unless you follow Indie Deck Review. So I got these review decks through Indie Deck Review. You know, neither of them are decks I would have gone out and purchased. But this is the Smith Tiny version 3, and this is the Teddy Tarot Gold Edition. And we are going to take a look at these decks and do a side-by-side comparison. And see how I feel about each of them. I did take a look through them to get started on my reviews. So, and I do have different opinions of each of them. And we'll talk about it. So this deck, I overhand shuffled only for the purpose of a review. And just in the overhand, we can see that this very gorgeous gilt edging is, it is chipped. I'm not sure if people can see it or not, but I see several there. So that is from overhand shuffling. They're also numbered, so the Teddy Tarot is number 126, and the Smith Tiny is number 867. So this deck, you'll find out I liked a bit more, and I riffle shuffled this and used it when I was watching a TV show, and yeah, so it's definitely chipped. I don't actually care if my gilding chips. I heavy use cards. I was trying to keep this one as good a condition as possible because I am going to gift this one. All right, so first we're going to see the extra cards. So we have the Bear's Kiss. So the titles on the Ted Kiss on this deck are in gold, and they're hard to see. Here we have William Ryder and Son. We have Pamela Coleman Smith, probably the most famous picture of her, which is unfortunate that this is a picture we idolize because it's from her doing minstrel shows in private salons. There's history out there if you want to search real history. I've long thought about doing a video on it. I have lots of notes. Pamela Coleman Smith was not only white, she came on both sides from the founding families in America. The side that came from Jamaica were founding family of the United States and went to Jamaica as railway tycoons. And she performed minstrel shows where she dressed up as a black person or an Asian person. Yeah, that's where this image comes from. Arthur Edward Waite. I don't think any of us hold any misconceptions about who he was. And the Happy Squirrel card. So I always do enjoy a good Happy Squirrel card. Oh, and then we got notes. We've got these cards. And then we get into this. So this is the only one that's numbered in the deck. I don't know. I guess the other ones are meant for like, I don't know, art or something. Okay. So we have the Fools. And so this deck goes really, really traditional. This one like stays on the Rider-Waite idea and plays around sometimes with angle and stuff. I really like that this Ted is crossing a rope bridge, this Fool. There's a cat. It's quite cute. The Magician. I do like the line work for the infinity symbols. Some of you know the proper word for it. Don't. I'm okay with that. So I quite enjoy this. I think it's very cute. So here is the High Priestesses. I'm really been drawn to the cuteness of the teddies. You know, in how similar yet slightly different they are. And it's been interesting looking at traditional depictions of Rider-Waite Smith. But yeah, and this is Honey. I like the gold glint in the teddy cards too. I'm not 100% certain, but I sometimes feel like, is this all the scenery like in the Empress? I sort of don't think it is, but I like it. So I think these are really well illustrated. I do think they're really well illustrated. I think the faces, they're expressive, but they wouldn't, they probably wouldn't work for me, especially how similar each of them are. This deck went, you know, it veers, but like it still manages to be real, you know, Christianity and in the, you know, in how these cards were done. So here we have the Chariots. Strength. The Hermit is lovely on both, but I really do like this Hermit here. Wheel of Fortune. I think on the Ted one, what might be confusing is, you know, this part sort of makes the Wheel of Fortune worldish, but they've done the world differently. Justice. Heart in a Feather. The Hanged Man. I like the perspective of the Hanged Man on the Teddy card. Death. It's fascinating to me that this like Teddy Death card is like so much creepier than the RWS clone. Again, I'm really enjoying the Teddy deck over top of the other one. Like I'm hugging the teddies here. There's very few brown-skinned folks in this deck. Around the skin tone as Pamela Coleman Smith, so I'm not sure if the creators are trying to, or one of those folks who, you know, fallen for the, we will make the RWS deck acceptable by making Coleman Smith cool, even though she's not. Yeah, I don't know, kind of disturbs me. There's really only a few brown-skinned folks in this deck, and some of them are problematically placed. I like the tails. Again, I like the Teddy one better. I do. Again. I love the werewolf Teddy for the moon. I love the Teddy face in the moon. I just really do. You know, this again is well done, but This is probably why I don't have any actual real clone decks. I like that we got the planets in the world and these super teddies. I like the change in associations. Okay, I know they're like reaching up over the top of a mountain, but it kind of looks like a dead teddy hand coming up through the layers of the earth. And every time I look at it initially, that's what I see until my eyes like focus in on the background. And hilariously, I like that. I don't love the wreath as a symbol coming from the 6, but I don't care. I think I'm pretty sure I'm keeping this deck and going to try using it. But like, this will always be the zombie teddy ace of wands to me. I think I even like the art a bit better. I do like the art better in the teddy deck. Like the details and shapes, I like them a little bit better than in the Smith Tiny deck. But I also appreciate like how well of a replica it is for being in a totally different style. So, you know, I can move on from that. I like the different perspective here in the 7 of Wands, the green clouds, you know, very interesting, like puts a rush on that, getting over the next one. The scenery here is really nice. I like the teddy running away. I like feel so much for this 9 of Wands teddy, and then, you know, we got this very well done traditional one, the Smith Tiny. Like, they've even done the clothes so well. Like the patterns on the clothes in the Smith Tiny, it's done really well. It really is. You know, I'm quite impressed with it. Oh, they've got salamanders on this night as well as on this night. That's adorable. I love this cat. I do. And I love the kitty brooch versus like the lion brooch. It's all pretty great. Our salamanders are back again. I'm going to pay attention to the fabrics in the Smith Tiny quartz in each suit. I'm quite interested and fascinated. These bees show up throughout this deck, which I quite like. I like the pumpkins in here, but I really like the clouds and the grasses. I like that it's like another teddy bringing the cup. Like, this just makes so much practical sense for me. I like that they do things like wrapping vines around trees in this deck. I think that's really useful. I love that this teddy is like doing the claw game. That's so awesome. And I love this detail here, the torn heart shape and the stuffing. It's well done. The scenery on here is beautiful as well as this one. I like the choice of multiple families in this one. Okay, so we've got some lotus flowers. What do we got in this one? Fish. Oh, so their pattern of their clothes are different each one. This one's got running water. She looks all sexy for a cartoon bear. And the swords. I like the planets. I really like this Four of Swords. I like it. I do. It's not looking like the most comfortable place to lay down, but the warmth outside, it looks nice. There's a star. I like that we see that they're all well secured. That's how they're standing up. Just bad placement when there's so few brown skin tones in this deck. Oh, poor Teddy. What I like about the falling is it could be your fault or someone else's. We don't know why the teddy is falling. Okay, so here we've got birds going on. Clouds on both. Oh, is her sword bloody or is that sparkles? It sparkles. The color looks like it's bloody. Which I like. I like it's like the same place but a different perspective. I really like that touch. I like that we've decided indeed a more femme teddy can be part of this crew of workmanship. So well illustrated. Aww. I do quite like this whole depiction. I'm generally liking this deck more than the Smith Tiny, which says to me that, like, I don't know, maybe a clone really isn't for me. Maybe like the Mahogany Tarot. I love the color palette in this one. We're inclusive of cats and dogs in the teddy deck. Whoops. She looks so sad. I mean, maybe she's supposed to, but it definitely makes me enjoy this one more. I like that she's off the throne with the animals. Maybe that's why the other queen is so sad. And finally, our kings. I did like the thrones in here with their big animal heads. They detailed the thrones by sign in the Smith Tiny too, but it's really exaggerated in the Teddy deck. All right, so let's take a look at how this deck shuffles. So the gilding does make it like that little bit stiffer, because gilding does that. And I, have an example of not strong hands. So if this was $350, I wouldn't be able to. This is something at $330, like I actually could break in. Like breaking in $350 for me, it doesn't make it functional. I can break in $330 to where it's functional for me. So that works. So that is the Teddy Tarot Gold Edition and the Smith Tiny 3rd Edition. Comparative review you didn't expect to see here. See y'all later, folks. Okay, so I did use this deck in some of my readings for a few days. And what I did to create a reason to use it and try it out, since I was mostly using Lenormand and the 4 covens, what I did was I made a small 5-card spread that told me something about the bigger reading I was doing. And so that gave me a way to test this out without really interfering with what is smooth and easy for me in reading tarot. And I enjoyed it. I don't like this card. So I'm not a fan of a Hierophant, but seeing to me, it looks like little kid altar boy teddies being put through the whole Catholic ordeal, and not an appealing image for me. But it's a real image. Yeah, from your childhood, these Christian values are implanted into your worldviews, and impact how you see different things, whether it shows up in a job reading or a relationship reading of some kind, right? So I don't love the image, but it's useful. So this deck pushed me out of my comfort zone in that we clearly saw I super enjoyed these anthropomorphized animals, and have a growing collection of animal decks I'm enjoying, and I'm going to need to join, I believe it's Heather's tarot take of the animal deck collection for folks who said they didn't like animal decks. It has a better name than that. I will do that and link everything up properly with what it's really called. So this deck pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I do get clients who are coming at life from a Christian perspective. And as a scoop survivor who experienced racial specific religious trauma, it's a hard deal for me. One of the messenger spirits who works with me is a great grandfather of mine that I've obviously never met in, person. And He helps with a lot of the readings I do, but he really steps in when I'm dealing with those clients. He's from my Cajun side, so he steps in when I'm dealing with those clients. But this I used, and a client like that called, and it just like took the edge off. Because when I'm done, I just have this like, it's like, bleh, like this thing I have to shake out of my body a little bit and taste out of my mouth. Anyway, it took the edge off. I enjoyed things like this. This card, I really do enjoy. So that was my feels for this deck. It helped me over the Western world's Christianity issues, and out of my comfort zone there. And this will be the deck where I admit, yes, apparently I do like animal decks and anthropomorphize one. And do we all see how green it is getting out here? Is this not just, it's fabulous, it feels good. I'm happy and excited about that, and I'll see y'all later.